Alrighty, what is happening, guys? Welcome to episode 1 of the M Theory podcast. I've wanted to do this for a very long time now. I'm super excited to get stuck into it with you guys. I had a bit of a limiting belief, a barrier holding me back from doing this, but no more is that barrier. We're here together, guys, to grow, to improve, and just become our best self. And this podcast here, guys, is all about health, fitness, mindset, nutrition, just kind of improving overall who we are, who we want to be. So yeah, if you're interested in any of those areas, definitely hit us up each week on Wednesday. Today's podcast, guys, is basically the topic is 5 game changers I wish I knew starting my fitness journey. Okay, a little bit about myself before we get stuck into it. I've been training for about 15 years now. I started really quite young. As a kid, I was very much overweight, very shy, very anxious, just didn't have much self-worth or self-belief or just confidence. And the gym was kind of my ticket out of that kind of headspace that I kind of found myself in. So yeah, I just started training, started working out, and really started noticing changes with my body, with my strength, and just the more I kind of pushed that sort of barrier, the better I felt about myself, and I just kept growing as a person. The biggest benefit though is just stepping outside my comfort zone. That's what the gym has given me. It's that first time in my life where I just felt like I was reaching for more and asking for more. And even today as well, I've been wanting to do this podcast for quite a while now. It is, yes, stepping out my comfort zone, but that's what I'm here to do. And that's what I'm here to get you guys to do as well. Because we have the most growth within our life once we step outside that comfort zone. Let's get started, guys. Our first podcast, number 1. Okay, so once again, 5 game changes I wish I knew starting my fitness journey. Number 1, guys, was I wish I knew that I should have trained less. Okay, this is something that a lot of people tend to overdo, is exercise. They just train way too much. With myself as well, so I believed that as well. When I was a kid, I remember being like 14, 15, just really wanted to do whatever I could to lose that extra body fat that I just could not drop. And what I did, I literally would get up 6 o'clock in the morning, would go for a run, do like 5Ks in the morning. Then after school, I basically get home as well, and I'll just lift weights for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then I might go for another run after that. What I was doing is I was burning myself out. Okay, this was not sustainable at all. But what I was doing, I was putting myself in a very high deficit with my nutrition, which because I was at such a high deficit, my body just would not give up any more body fat. It is a survival mechanism, guys. So if you do run yourself dry, run yourself into the ground, starve yourself especially as well, your body will not give up that next bit of body fat that you want to lose. Okay, it's very, very important to take note of that. The biggest thing though as well, if someone's training like twice a day, 3 times a day, which both myself and Crystal, we did this ourselves. If someone's doing that, what happens is you cannot maintain that. You're going to have an injury. Your immune system's going to drop. You're going to definitely fall off the wagon. And when you do fall off the wagon, you're going to find body fat coming on very quickly. Okay. Right now, guys, basically off season, we train 4 or 5 days a week with weights. Coming up, if Crystal and myself as well are going to compete, we'll start to increase a little bit of obviously cardio over that time, leading up to like 3 months out. But really, most of the year, 4 or 5 days a week, that's max. Okay. If you're wanting to lose body fat, cardio is the last thing that you kind of add on to the top. Okay, you definitely got to start off with nutrition. Okay, that's the first thing. That's 90% of transformations is nutrition and daily habits. Then training, and obviously weight training, and then cardio comes at the very end, just at the very end when we see that finish line. So definitely, guys, we want to train less. We want to take our attention from the workouts and bring that to nutrition. A lot of the time, the biggest excuse, the biggest story that people have in terms of not tracking their macros is, I don't have time to track my macros. I just couldn't fit that time into the day. A lot of these clients now as well are training like 8-9 times a week. Okay, if you guys half that, if you guys train 3-4 times and track your macros, you're always going to see better results than someone that trains 8-9 times. Okay, and doesn't track their macros. Okay, very important, nutrition. Okay, you're going to hear me say that probably every episode as well with the podcast because it is absolute key. Okay, definitely very important. As soon as I started to have help and have guidance with my nutrition and just to learn what I was actually doing, that was when I actually started to see results. Whereas before I was just slugging away and just hitting the brick wall, not really seeing any change physically. Okay. Number 2, guys, is, guessed it, track your macros and metrics. Okay. Macros is protein, fats, and carbs. Okay. Basically, what's really cool about this is basically if you're hitting your protein, your fats, and your carbs, you're basically within your budget. You're that much more likely to see the results because it's science backed. Okay, if you guys blow your budget, say you consume way too much fats, way too much carbs, way too much protein, you're going to basically have excess. If you've got an excess, basically that goes straight to body fat. Okay, you guys got to remember as well, like for instance, carbs. So you can only fit in so much carbs into your liver and your muscle stores. Okay. Any addition goes straight to fat stores. Okay, so something we have to be aware of. Okay, you blow your budget, you're going to put body fat on. The same applies for you guys that want to build muscle as well. If you're under budget, you're going to lose muscle mass. Okay, I've tried over the years now as well to still build muscle with obviously restricting or just not hitting my protein levels, and it just doesn't happen. Okay, you have to be consistent with those levels. Especially carbs again as well. So carbs, you have to be consistent because your muscle fibers are built up by glycogen stores, which is carbohydrates within the muscle stores. If you're not hitting your carb targets, if you're not eating carbs, you're not going to hold muscle. Very, very important, guys. So yeah, macros is key. Hence, I think the biggest thing about us doing this as well is basically it's flexible. Okay, I've been on meal plans in the past as well, and it's never sustainable. Whereas if we're tracking our macros, we literally get to fit our day around what we want rather than following whatever your coach is throwing at you, chicken and rice or fish and rice cakes. So it's definitely, we've got full control over what we eat, what we want to eat as well. It's flexible dieting, okay? Literally, I had last night as well, for instance, I had basically hot dogs, I had low carb bread, I had lean sausages, and I could fit that into my macros and be a very happy Dion. Just because I could actually eat something I really enjoy and still hit my macros, still get results. Okay, so that is absolutely key. Why I've said track metrics as well. So metrics are a few things. Metrics are obviously your macronutrients, so you're tracking your nutrition. Metrics are how you feel day to day. Metrics are as well basically the weight that you're lifting. So you want to make sure that you're actually progressively, it's called progressive overload. You're lifting more over time, you're gaining strength. And then with that strength is going to come more muscle as well. But most importantly, guys, your metrics as in you want to know that your body is changing, that your body composition is getting better, okay? This is, I recommend weekly, okay? Whether it's just doing your measurements at home, try not to rely too much on the scales because scales are very inconsistent. At the gym here, we do bioscans, so our nutrition crew have weekly bioscans, which is amazing because we get to see exactly what's happening with their body. We get to actually fine tune and tweak what we need to tweak just by seeing and actually getting feedback through their obviously body composition metrics. But yeah, if you don't have the bioscan measurements, the next best thing, even just do your hips and your waist, so hips, waist, chest, arms, thighs, like keep it basic. That will let you know, cool, was this week a win or was it not a win? Okay, if you guys are basically going through, which I've done this in the past as well, I've gone through months and months and months where I haven't stepped on the scales, haven't done a bioscan, haven't even done my obviously measurements and that as well. This is when I've gone through being like 80 kilos lean to like 95 kilos and back to obviously a high, basically being overweight, high BMI. So it happens very quickly. And it happens without us even being aware of it, okay? But if you're tracking and having like monthly bioscans, weekly bioscans, or even bioscans every 3 months, you know what's going on with your body, or even if you're doing measurements, you know what's going on with your body. So that jump, that massive weight gain is not going to happen because you're self-aware of what's happening. I can talk about this for a solid hour as well, just because I have that much belief that this is the game changer for a lot of people. It's just they don't know what the hell's going on with their body. But yes, I'll leave that for another time to talk about it more. Number 3, guys, this is probably the biggest one. This is definitely the biggest one, is get a mentor, okay? Get someone to keep you accountable. The amount of times, obviously, this is a big problem for myself as well, is I just never believed in asking for help. I was that kid at school that was just too shy to raise my hand and ask for help in that as well, because I was just afraid of looking stupid. But really that had held me back for so many years with my fitness, with my health, with my business, with all aspects of life. I just could not ask for help. But as soon as I started doing that, it has absolutely just dramatically changed my life and Crystal's life as well. We've got mentors for the business. I've got a mentor, obviously, for my nutrition, for obviously comp prep, for training as well. Alandre, one of our PTs, trains myself as well. I've got a lot of mentors, a lot of help, and that's exactly what we need. We need a team, okay? We need a team dedicated to get you exactly to where you want to get to, okay? Yeah, it's definitely a massive game changer, and this is why we named the gym M Theory as well, because one of the biggest things the M stands for is mentorship, because that's 100%, that will change the game and it will change your life. Number 4, guys, this is quite a funny one, is you want to make friends. In the gym, if you're kind of struggling to hit your sessions, hit your workouts, just lagging and lacking motivation, you want to make friends that obviously have the same sort of goals and aspirations as you. There's something that's called people of influence. People of influence is basically the 5 closest people you have within your life. These 5 people that you have in your life, obviously the closest to you, they will decide who you are tomorrow, the next day, and then 5 years down the line as well, okay? You're a reflection of these 5 people. If your 5 are basically drinking, eating out 3-4 days a week, or just very bad influences, drugs, obviously alcohol, if that's their path, you're going to fall into that as well, okay? Doesn't matter how old you are, how mature you are, you do become the people that you surround yourself with. This is why as well, it's really important, like when you are going to a gym, when you are kind of having that sort of body transformation, you want to make friends, you want to make that place obviously as fun as possible, but you want to have a really good team of influence that you're surrounded by, okay? And that's something that definitely I always train heaps better when I'm with the crew, or with obviously with our mentors, with our PTs, or just with friends within the gym space as well, okay? Surround yourself with a really strong core group, and that people of influence, that core group, that core 5, are going to do amazing things for you, because you'll have to up your game to be around them. It's always kind of being around who's better as well, because that will make you strive that bit more to improve who you are. Lastly, guys, number 5 is remember why we started, okay? This is something we forget, okay? We start our journey, we start basically obviously fitness journey or whatever we want to achieve in life, and then all of a sudden 3 weeks go by, that's usually the motivation wanes off, and we just kind of forget what we're doing. We're forgetting the reason why we started, okay? Seriously, we have to remind ourselves on a weekly, if not daily basis, for why you're doing what you're doing, okay? We have something in the gym as well, which is called why stacking. Why stacking is finding as many reasons as possible to do what you want to do, okay, to achieve that goal. The reason why this is so effective is the more purpose someone has for what they want to do, the higher the chance of actually achieving that is, okay? So we want to come up with as many reasons as possible to really follow through with that journey, okay? And that's gonna, when shit gets tough, okay, when it gets tough and you don't feel like working out, you don't feel like following through with your nutrition, you want to break or whatever, that's gonna remind you what you're here to do, okay? Big thing for myself as well, I've been training for 15 years now, okay? I've got so much reason, so much purpose behind why I train. Okay, let's rattle through. Number 1 is obviously self-confidence. Number 2 is basically stress. Number 3 is anxiety. Number 4 is it empowers me. Number 5 is it makes me step outside my comfort zone on a regular basis. Number 6, it's social. Number 7, it makes me feel and look great. There's just so many reasons for why I do what I do. And coming from a place where when I wasn't training, when I wasn't exercising, didn't feel good about myself, very insecure, very shy, very quiet. I think people used to think I was a mute just because I would never talk. Going from the past and then to where I am now, completely different person because of exercise, because of fitness, because of the gym. And me knowing that, of course I'm going to continue. Of course I'm going to keep going. Of course I'm going to do whatever I can to hit my sessions because it makes me feel amazing, okay? So really, guys, when you want to make a change, when you want to step into the unknown, when you want to basically improve your life, we have to go and ask ourselves, why do you want what you want? and then find as many benefits as possible. Okay, who's it going to help within your family? How is it going to help yourself? How is it going to help other people around you as well? And that's really going to give you the fire required to then go that next bit further and do exactly what you want to do. That is my first podcast, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Just definitely give us a like, give us a share, comment below. Any questions at all, guys, hit us up as well. Anything you want me to tackle each week, hit us up as well. I'm here to help you guys as much as possible, and basically document my journey, my client's journey, and just really obviously help the community manager as much as possible. All good, guys. We'll see you guys again next week on Wednesday. First podcast. Well done, guys. Big bright spot there. Okay.